Who else is having breakfast at 2 p.m.? Just me? Okay. Hi friends. I have a really exciting video today. I got a couple of things from Sephora in the mail the other day. Actually, it's been sitting here for a week and I just opened this package. It just had a couple of things I need to re-up on, like some shampoo, conditioner, hairstyling treatment, new cream bronzer, you know, things that I was just running out of or running low on and I just wanted to stock up. One of the things I was running low on was foundation. And I've been waiting for this foundation to be restocked at Sephora for months now. And I finally got my hands on it. Today we are going to do a full dedicated video testing the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. So we're just gonna hop right in. If that sounds like something that is interesting to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. We're gonna dive right in because I only have an hour to film this before Andrew needs to actually borrow my microphone. But yes, this has been in and out of stock at Sephora for months. Every time I have money, they are out, and every time they are restocked, I am broke. Ever since Tati hyped this thing up, it just realized that this is a glass component and it just feels expensive. Tati hypes this foundation so hard that I had to try it for myself. The whole claim is that it self-refreshes all day, so it doesn't crease. And if you watch my channel, you know that your girl is a creasy bitch. I've got huge bags under my eyes. Well, I've had those since I was like an infant, but I get huge smile lines. I crease right under the chin. I'm just a creasy lady. And I just thought that that was gonna be my fate forever. However, apparently this foundation says otherwise. I'm just gonna pull up the specs here. Oh god, I'm taking my phone off airplane mode for the first time today. Oh god. I just love it when all the notifications come at once. It's really fun for me. All right, so this retails for $62 Canadian, which is about $10 more than I would usually feel comfortable spending on a foundation. This is my current favorite. It's the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. And this is 1 fluid ounce as well. And I'll put the price up on the screen. And even that was on the higher end for me, but this is probably the most expensive foundation that I've actually spent money on. But the claims for this foundation are so extravagant that I just need to find out for myself whether or not it is worth that price point. On the Sephora website, it says, a weightless foundation that synchronizes with skin and self-refreshes nonstop for a just applied look and flawless finish. So the highlighted ingredients are as follows.
Active Force Technology.
Protects finish from the effects of sweat, oil, and facial movement. Responsive sensory technology. Adapts to skin's condition, tone, and texture for truer illumination. Smart correcting powder. Enhances skin's surface texture and tone. It's free of all the sulfates and whatnot if that is something you care about. Yeah, they've trademarked this thing called Active Force Technology. I have no idea what that means, but it is proprietary, so yeah, so we're gonna see if this actually does last up to what it claims to say, which is 24 hours. I'm not gonna wear it for 24 hours, but we're gonna wear it for most of the day. I will clock in once it is applied, and then I want to do my best and actually do check-ins. I think one side will probably do a brush and one side will do a sponge. It said something about powder in the foundation, so I'm assuming that it is self-setting. I'm going to do my best not to set too heavily. I know that that would just kind of defeat the purpose of this test. So we're just going to zoom in and get started. I love testing new foundations. It's always nice to find a new favorite. However, I'm going to be a little bit upset if this is my new favorite because that's a lot of money to spend on a foundation. We're going to give it a nice shake. First things first, let's prime. I haven't put on a moisturizer yet, so I'm gonna prime with my Good Molecules silicone free priming moisturizer, which kind of does a twofer there. Also, my skin's breaking out in places, which means that I probably shouldn't use the Milk Hydro Grip. The Milk Hydro Grip, if you didn't know, has ingredients that you shouldn't be putting on your skin if it is broken. I learned that one from Jen Loves Reviews, so thank you, Jen. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna do anything crazy with my makeup. I really want to keep it very simple, very basic, and focus on the skin. Let's just put a couple pumps on this little surface here and hope to God that it is anywhere close to my shade. That ain't bad. It has kind of a smell to it, kind of like a caramelly smell almost, which is weird. So I'm just dotting it all over. I'm trying not to go so yellow with the undertone of my foundation. I have noticed that in real life, my Anastasia is a bit on the yellow side. I've got my damp beauty blender here, bounce it in. So it says it's medium coverage, and I would agree. It's more coverage than I anticipated. I was kind of expecting it to have more of a dewy finish, but the finish is definitely more natural, as long as it's not matte. So we're just gonna build up in the areas that need a little bit more coverage, areas that have a lot more redness. All right, let's bounce that in. I'm actually kind of gooped that the shade match is so good. I really lucked out. Wow, you can just really see how hyper pigmented my skin is in lots of areas. It's looking really nice. I'm just gonna leave it for now to see if it does end up settling in any of these areas while I do the other side. Probably used about 1.5 pumps with the sponge. So I wouldn't say it was going an awful long way with that sponge, but let's see what happens when we use a brush. I've noticed that it is oxidizing, which is probably a good thing. Let's pull out the brush. This is my foundation brush from the Furless and It's Likely Makeup collab. It's been through the wars, but it does work really well. So let's just bounce this right in. It is amazing how fast a foundation brush works when you compare it directly to a sponge. All right, that was about a pump, and I think I have about half a pump left here just to pat into the areas that need more coverage. I'm also actually just going to take this over my eyelids. I feel like this will be the true test. Doing something interesting on the nose, but then again, my nose is a nightmare to deal with anyway, so I won't blame it on the foundation just yet. I honestly like the texture of the sponge side a lot better, so I'm just going to grab the very last of the foundation on the palette and try and just press into the areas that are giving me some trouble. Yeah, pores definitely still exist. Actually, quite porous. I am seeing a little bit of creasing around the mouth. Oh my god, my hair is just every which way right now. All right, we're gonna continue with the rest of the face and we'll speed through all that and then we will reconvene once everything is all done. You know, you just kind of get in the zone and you can't really stop and you just keep going over your face with a fine-tooth comb. Anyway, we're here. So I think we started the application process at about 2:30. It is currently 3:56. That just proves to you exactly how long it takes me to get ready. Now that it's been on and it's settled, it's definitely looking a lot nicer than it was before. When I first applied it, it kind of just sat on top of the skin in a really weird way. It has definitely settled onto the nose. The nose is looking a lot lot smoother. Let's zoom you in a little bit so you can see for yourself. I was pretty sparing with the powder, and so this is what it looks like right now. And if you'll notice, right in this area is where I usually start to crease right away. And it's actually looking pretty crease free. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never powdered my eyelids. It shows. I left that unset just to see if it would actually set up, and it doesn't seem to want to. It's still definitely malleable. My under eyes are looking pretty creasy, but that's just normal for me. The color seems to be pretty good. It's oxidized to a nice place and it's matching me pretty well. The texture of it is kind of strange. It emphasized the pores on my cheeks quite a lot, and I felt like I had to do a lot of pressing with the products on top, like my highlighter. It's interesting, that's for sure. All right, so we're gonna leave this on all day just to give this foundation a really thorough testing. I have the rest of the afternoon to just chill out, probably play some Animal Crossing, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of the day. I'm really interested to see what it looks like in a couple of hours, so I will check back in with you then. It is now just after 7, so it's been about 3 hours and a bit. So let's take a look-see here. Sorry, my glasses are on because I need to see in real life. So ignore the glasses marks, those are inevitable. So as you can see, it's looking pretty good. I have not touched it. No extra powder. It's not looking too terrible. I'd say the overall effect is still pretty nice. It hasn't broken down yet in the areas that foundation usually breaks apart on me, which is right in and around the nose. Everything seems to remain pretty much intact. However, is it creaseless? No. Let's get real close and personal. You can see right in there, that's a crease. It's performing the way most foundations perform on me. It's nothing extraordinary. I guess we'll check back in a few more hours and we'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. I guess I will see you in a few more hours. Good evening. Hello there. Welcome to the late show on my channel. It is 1:55. It is late. This makeup has been on for a while and we're gonna have candor. I have not touched up my face since application, so everything is very dewy. So right here, under the eyes is probably the worst it's looked in a long time. These creases are not just creases, they are craters. This foundation just kind of sits on top of my face. It looked okay for a few hours and then it just kind of took a turn, but yeah, my under eyes especially just look really awful. Let's see what happens when I just take my beauty blender and give everything a really good pat down. I feel like I must have done something wrong in order for it to have been such a miss. Tati raved about this foundation and it just does not look that great on me. I was gonna end this video tonight, but I think I'm actually just going to do another wear test tomorrow. I'm gonna change up a couple of things. I haven't really been doing this lately, but I think I'm actually gonna try baking this foundation down a little bit more heavily in the under eye area and along the places where I've been creasing up a lot. It must have been something I did. My under eyes just look like absolute trash. I'm not ready to give up on this foundation just yet. It cost too much money. So let's do this all again tomorrow. Let's change up a couple things. I'll see you in the morning. Oh, today is not a good day, folks. I haven't done shit all today and it is already past 4 p.m. Let's put on some makeup. Hopefully that'll make me feel a little bit better. So it is not the next day, it is the day after that. I actually had to give my station to Andrew, who was doing a live stream with Loading Ready Run yesterday. Today we are going to try again. I am bound and determined to make this foundation look better than it looked last time because it truly costs too much money to look like a second-rate drugstore foundation. Also, it felt awful. Like, it sat on top of the skin all day. It did nothing for my texture or my pores, and it just felt like a mask. Honestly, like, I'm not looking forward to putting it back on, but I just need it to work, okay? I don't want to return it. It is a really good shade match. All right, well, enjoy this energy, folks. You know, just one of those days where you wonder where your life is going and all of your friends are married and having kids, and you're 30 years old living in a basement suite with no job. We're thriving. I don't want to unload on you today because that's not what this video is for. this video is for testing foundation, so we're gonna do that. Yesterday, I felt like the side with the sponge worked way better. I felt like it helped melt the products into my skin a lot better. That's what we're gonna use today, and I'm gonna switch up the technique a little bit. Instead of putting on my concealer after applying the foundation, I'm gonna do what I usually do, and that is apply it at the same time so that I don't get that extra layer of cake, especially under the eyes. God, they look terrible. Also, quick side note, look what just came in the mail. Look at this beautiful face. Isn't she pretty? Let me know if you want a dedicated video on that set or if you want me to just incorporate it into some other video. I'm also going to switch up the primer that I used. I was really not happy with how this looked in tandem with foundation the other day, and it sat on my skin in a very unflattering way. I'm going to switch back to my tried and true Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It is the one that I fall back on when I just need things to work out. You know when you put something on and it just feels right? This primer is it for me. All right, let's just set this foundation up as best we can. We're gonna give this bottle a really good shake just to make sure that everything in there is all mixed up. Let's pump you out. Once again, dot it all over the face. The other thing I was not happy about with this foundation is that it did not build well. I tried layering it in certain sections and, you know, it just looked bad. Now let's take our concealer. Oh man, I feel like my concealer is darker than my foundation, which is super great. I'm breaking out like crazy right now, which could also be a reason why this foundation is not helping me out. Maybe my skin's just too far gone. Maybe that's it. Always blame yourself in situations like these. All right, let's balance this in. Even though this foundation is pretty much a dead-on match for my skin tone, it just feels pale, you know? Taking a little extra onto the sponge for the nose just to really get into all of those crevices. My nose is the red-headed stepchild of my own face. Definitely looking less luminous than last time. I desperately want to put on a little extra in the areas that need more coverage, but I have a feeling that that won't jive well. Just dab on a tiny bit of concealer in those areas instead. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get for me today. Let's zoom in. Sponge, I think, definitely is the way to go with this foundation. It's looking a little less textured in this area here. I feel like if you don't layer it, it probably performs better. I think changing up the primer was a good thing. I also used less product in general, so I think that might also work in my favor today. Using the powder with a brush really didn't work, especially under the eyes. It just was a mess by the end of the day. It's unavoidable that they're gonna crease. However, usually I can mitigate the amount of foundation that collects inside those creases. So we're gonna take the sponge and the powder today. We're gonna bake. Really lightly blend out those creases beforehand. Tiny bit of powder, like just the tiniest amount. And I'm being so sparing with it. And then we're gonna do the same thing to the nose because that got the oiliest yesterday. Okay, I think that's a bit better. It does look a bit dusty right now, but I feel like that's going to improve in like an hour. All right, let's try and just tap out everything as best as possible and then just take a fluffy brush and do the rest of the face. All right, let's just speed through the rest of the face and we will reconvene at the end. I don't know, I got in the groove. I was feeling this toasty, peachy fantasy. I don't know, I feel really cute. I feel a lot cuter than the other day, that's for sure. And I don't know if it's because I did the bare minimum of an eyeshadow look and threw on some freckles, but also I do think that the base is looking a lot better. So let's zoom in here. I can see a difference in this area a lot. I feel like there is way less texture, especially in the highlighted areas. You can see it's definitely smoother. It isn't collecting yet under the eyes and in those creases. And of course, this already has been on for like an hour while I was doing other things. So the skin has had time to warm up to the foundation. I feel like it's just starting to get into prime time now. So it is just 6 o'clock now, which means the foundation's been on for about an hour. Everything seems to be blending together a lot better today. Also, the primer is making this way more comfortable. It is not sitting on top of the skin. I'm gonna wear this for the rest of my day. I will come back in a few hours and give you my final thoughts. Good evening and welcome back to the late night portion of this video for a second time. It is officially 10 after 2 in the morning and I've been wearing this for a number of hours, which I am not going to calculate because I am too tired. So let's take a look-see, shall we? I think it is looking a lot better than it was yesterday. If you see the under eyes, there's no collecting inside the lines. I think that has a lot to do with the baking. Far less texture in here still, and I am way less of an oil slick. The refreshing claims of this foundation I find a bit dubious since you can clearly see creases in my smile lines. They are absolutely there. I am creasing pretty much everywhere I normally crease with any other foundation. Unfortunately, I think I just have to say that this foundation is kind of just like any other foundation that I've tried. It's no better than Anastasia. It's no better than Flower Beauty. Like, this kind of creasing has happened with every single foundation that I've worn in the past like year. I guess I just have to conclude that there's nothing really that special about this foundation, and that makes me upset. I was really hoping I would crack the code. I think Tati must just have the most flawless skin. I can't think of any other reason why it would behave so amazing on her. It's a nice enough foundation. The shade match is really great for me, so I think I'm gonna hold on to it even though it's not the holy grail. I mean, part of me is relieved just because of the ridiculous price point, but on the other hand, I was kind of hoping that that would be justified. I don't know. I need to know your guys' thoughts on this one because I'm clearly not seeing what Tati saw in this foundation. I think I would choose ABH Luminous Foundation over this. Let me know if you've ever tried this foundation. Let me know if you've had success with this foundation, if it was just so-so. I need to know your thoughts. Oh my god, I'm so happy that I did the outro for this video before 2 in the morning. Okay, I am going to go take this off. I'm gonna let the me from the past wrap this thing up. Take it away, me. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. For me right now, it currently feels like such a long haul, but hopefully it is not too plodding for you guys, and I hope that it was informative and also enjoyable. I'm gonna sign off here, but before I do, please let me tell you all the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a thumbs up, you can comment down below on what you thought of everything, you can subscribe to my channel, you can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there if it is available to you, and if you have the means right now, I do have a Patreon. Go check that out. It is in the description box down below. If you feel like it, just keep me in the loop. I just, you know, I like checking in with y'all and making sure that everyone is doing okay. All right, folks, stay safe, stay home if you can, wash your hands. Gonna keep saying that until this is over. I know you guys probably are, but just in case you have been asleep for the last 2 months. And above all else, just be kind and be generous, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the shit.